On this week's episode of A Dryer Dose of Disney, Jared discusses the Universal Studios Hollywood annual passes and which one has the best value.
Welcome to this week's episode of A Dryer Dose of Disney. I'm your host, Jared Dryer, and today we are on episode number 3 out of 4, where we are talking about the annual passes at the Disney and Universal parks and whether or not they're worth it and which ones are the best ones to buy. And today we are moving over to Universal Studios Hollywood. And if you've been listening to this series, we started out at Disney World in Orlando. We came out to Disneyland in Anaheim. Those were the first 2 episodes. Now we're up at Universal Studios Hollywood. And next week we'll be wrapping up with Universal Studios Orlando. And so this is just a really great series to talk about what are the perks and the benefits that you get with each one of these different passes. Which one do we recommend you buy, because we are annual pass holders at the Orlando parks, and we'll talk about the benefits that we use the most and which ones we think have the most bang for their buck and the greatest value. But before we dive on into it, we will ask, wherever you're listening to us for this podcast, or if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and click pause and click that subscribe button. That way you're going to get this content delivered into your inbox each and every week as we talk about the best tips and tricks at the Disney and Universal parks. And then we would also ask, hey, if there's any tips or tricks that saved you money or made your life a little bit easier, throw us a couple dollars over at Patreon and become a subscriber there to help keep this podcast going. And that way we're going to be able to keep delivering that content to you each and every single week. And what we love about our Patreon supporters is not only do you keep this going for us, but we get to spoil you with some free episodes or some premium content and some extra perks that are out there. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. That Patreon link is down in our description below, and that's going to be the best and easiest way to find us over there. So with that, we're going to dive in today and we're going to talk about Universal Studios Hollywood and the 4 levels of passes that are out there. If you're watching us on the YouTube format, you can see that I've got it pulled up on my screen here, and we're going to be doing a screen share, and I'm going to walk you through these 4 different passes. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you are missing out on my really cool Jaws shirt that I bought from RSVLTS. And I actually had to wear this today. I absolutely wanted to so badly because I love Universal Studios. I love Jaws. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. And at Universal Studios Hollywood on the backlot tour, you get to drive through the fake little Amity town, and you get to see Bruce the shark, the Jaws robotic shark, come up next to the tram and have a little fun with all that. And it's one of the highlights of my trip every single time that we're out there. So if you guys are watching on the YouTube, you can see this shirt. You can see the shark attacking the boat. I absolutely love it. It's a really fun shirt. So next week, I've got another Universal shirt that I'll be sharing with you guys. So if you haven't been watching us on the YouTube format, go check us out there as well and subscribe there, because it's really fun to see all the cool videos and fun things that we do. So with that, we're going to dive in. We're talking about Universal Studios Hollywood again, and I'm going to go today from the best pass to the worst pass. And the reason is there is a significant I can do this all day tip of the day today, and it's in regard to one of the lower end passes. So I want to save that for the end of the show. So you're definitely going to want to stick around and listen to the entire show today so that you don't miss that premium content at the very end. So starting out though, we want to talk about the Platinum Annual Pass. This is their very best pass at Universal Studios Hollywood. And I will say, if you listen to our Disney episodes, you're going to realize right out of the gates, this one only costs $619. That's less than Disney's second tier. And I will say yes, a resounding yes, it is. It is less expensive than Disney. And in fact, that makes a huge difference in Orlando because the parks are all so close, and they have multiple parks out there in Orlando with a new one opening up. And obviously in Hollywood, you've got the single park with the upper and lower lot, but the new Nintendo Land. And to think $619 for their absolute top pass, that is less than half of what Disney's best pass is. So because of that alone, it's worth it. I can tell you, if you like Universal Studios, you like those movies, you like the rides, the more thrill type rides, you like Harry Potter, and you like now the Nintendo World, you're going to want to get a Universal Studios Hollywood pass. I will even go as far to say, when you look at the pricing here, and I have it up on screen, though we haven't dove into the pass benefits or the gold and silver and what they look like, to think about the fact that you're only going to spend 2 or 3 days worth of single park tickets to get the annual pass, it's totally worth it. You're going to want to definitely do that. you're going to save a ton of money as we go through and talk about what you can do with these passes. So starting with the Platinum Pass, you can obviously, all these you can do flex pay. This one for, if you spend like $250 up front, you can get the pass for $30 a month, or you can pay it all in full at your discretion if you want to. And then that pass starts to work on the first day that you use it, meaning that if you buy it, this is what happened to us last year is we bought our passes at the middle of June and we didn't use them till 4th of July weekend. Our year started at the 4th of July weekend, which was cool. So you're going to start that as soon as you use it. On the Platinum Pass, you have no blackout dates, which is awesome because even at Disneyland on their best pass, you're still blacked out at Christmas time. And on this one, you're not. You do get all the weekend days, and they do call that out because the calendars get a little goofy on some of the lower end ones, but no blackout dates on the weekends. You get 15% off food and drink and merchandise in the park, which we use a lot. We love butterbeer. And so every time we're getting 15% off over in Orlando. And my daughter loves Harry Potter, so she's always buying Hogwarts gear like Gryffindor sweaters or shirts or lanyards, or she bought a wand. We saved money with each one of those by having the annual pass. So huge advantage there. But here's the two big callouts for the Platinum annual pass at Universal Hollywood. And that first one is the Universal Express Pass. This is their lightning lane, their fast pass setup. You do get for free after 3 p.m. on the Platinum Pass. Now, that is a huge perk because like you saw at Disneyland, they do give you 25% off Genie Plus. On this one, you get it for free. Now, it doesn't, though, start working till after 3 p.m. And that's for two reasons. The first reason being that most people that go to Universal Hollywood, it's a smaller park and they're usually wrapping up their day about this time. So you're going to start to see the park empty out a little bit. And then number two, if you live in Southern California or in the Hollywood area and you're going to Universal Studios Hollywood, you're probably going to go after work anyways if it's on a weekday, and you're not going to need it during the morning hours where it's really congested. That's a really cool perk. Just be warned, though, it doesn't kick in until after 3 p.m. One of the really big perks that a lot of people love Universal Studios for is the Halloween Horror Nights ticket. You do get a free ticket on the Platinum one, so that's going to save you quite a bit of money there. So we do encourage you, if you love Halloween Horror Nights, this is probably going to be the best pass for you because you're going to save some money there. But I will do a special call out about Halloween Horror Nights. If you've never been before, this is typically not for your younger kids. It's very graphic and it's very intense, meaning little kids are going to get scared. They do a whole thing for The Walking Dead. You've obviously got all the classic Universal monsters, including Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, the Invisible Man, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. You've got the whole lineup there. The Mummy, obviously they have the Mummy ride there for that. And then you've got things like Chucky and you've got Beetlejuice and some of the other things. Now, Beetlejuice is pretty funny, but when you add him in with all the other stuff, it can get really intense really quick. And they have a pretty intense haunted house there at Universal Studios Hollywood as well. So I would encourage you, if you like Halloween Horror Nights, keep that adults only, unless you've got really brave kids, but it's a really good perk to have that. Now, if you listened to my episode last week on Disneyland, my pet peeve, and that pet peeve is when you do not get free parking with an annual pass. And on this one, the Platinum Pass, you do. So that's included on that one, as well as the Gold Pass. So we'll talk about Gold here in just a second, but that's going to save you about $25 a pop. So if you're going more than a handful of times, that adds up really quick, couple $100 every single year in savings on just parking savings. So we definitely encourage you go with one of those two passes for that reason alone. And then you get other discounts that all the passes get. You get to save when you buy online. That's why it's $10 off at the top. You do get invited to special events. You do get discounts for friends and family. So I will say later in the episode, we'll talk a little bit more about this. There may be an advantage for you buying a really good pass and then maybe someone else in your family getting a lower one, or doing discounts and buying them single days. And then you get sweepstakes. You can always get Halloween Horror Nights discounted with any annual pass. And then you get discounts at City Walk. The Platinum Annual Pass is a great pass to start out with, and it's less than half the price of the Disney one. So we absolutely love this one. The second one on my list here is the Gold Annual Pass. And this one's honestly my personal favorite. This is the one I'm going to buy if I'm buying an annual pass. And that's because it's $300 less. So it's only $319. You can do the flex pay, but I just say just pay for it all at once and just be one and done with it. But saving the $300, you still get over 325 days during the year. The dates that are blocked out are 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then sporadically throughout the month of July, just because July is their busiest month. But outside of that, you're going to get most of the weekend days available to you. It is obviously good for 12 months. You do get the food, dining, and merchandise discounts there. you lose the Universal Express, you lose the Halloween Horror Nights. But for us, that's not such a huge deal on the Universal Express because we like single rider. So if you didn't listen to our single rider episode, I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to go bookmark that and listen to that because Universal has a ton of single rider rides at their parks. And that is the quickest way to get on almost any single ride, especially the ones down in Orlando. And we'll talk about that more next week. But single rider is definitely the way to go over the Universal Express. And that's because the Universal Express is not metered. Meaning that at Disney, the Lightning Lane is, and they only allow so many people through per hour, which means that when you have your reservation, it's not going to be super busy. The Universal Express is not metered, which means that all of a sudden everybody could swarm like the Harry Potter rides. And then all of a sudden the Universal Express is way backed up and all the other rides have no queue in them at all. So you could hit or miss or hit a longer crowd. So we say single rider is always going to be the most consistent and quickest way to get on any single ride unless you get lucky. Again, Halloween Horror Nights is something real intense. We have a 12-year-old daughter. We're not going to take her to the Halloween Horror Nights, so I'm not too worried about that. If I ever wanted to, I can get a discounted ticket on my own, and it will be less than the $300. So that's why I like the Gold Pass, but you do get the free parking with that, which is my number one perk. I save so much money with free parking. It's ridiculous. So that's the pass I'm going to go with almost every single time. Next is our Silver Annual Pass. And this one's $229, so $90 less than the gold one. But on this one, you do get 275 days, over 50 weekend days, which if you think about it, it's about half of the weekend days are available to you. No discounts. So you just lost your dining and merchandise discounts, which add up really quick on the gold. And then you don't get the free parking. So when you're thinking, I don't get discounts on food or merchandise and I don't get free parking, it is totally worth the extra $90 to buy the gold annual pass. So that's why I would do it every single time. And I would definitely put the money towards the gold annual pass. It's less than one extra day at the parks. Now, when you think about it, the parks are going to cost you about $109 a trip. So if you're just using 100 as the round number, the silver pass is equivalent to 2 days. So if you're going to go for 2 days and it's during the time of year when this silver pass would work, I encourage you to check out the blackout dates, but it may be beneficial to buy that annual pass. If you're going for 3 or more days or you think you'll return, gold's always going to be worth it. And then if you want to buy multiple days or do the platinum pass, that's going to be worth it if you were thinking about spending money on the express pass. The single day express pass ticket with admission costs about $200. So that pass is basically worth 3 days in the park, with the exception the express pass doesn't start working till after 3 p.m. But you do get it every single day of the year. So trade off there, and you do get free parking, where on the express pass with admission, you don't. We love all these passes. Again, the value is going to be in the platinum or the gold. We like the gold just because we're not going to try to go during the holidays. You still get the free parking, and I'm not worried about Halloween Horror Nights. The last pass is our California Neighbor Pass. This is the equivalent of 1.5 days. When you come through, you can see that it only gives you access to 150 days. There's only 15 weekend days that you get to go to. But this is the one big call out here is this pass is only good for 9 months. And that's because they block out most of the summer. This is where our I can do this all day tip of the day is you're only getting a 9-month pass for $179. So if you're thinking about it, that's about $20 a month. Over here, it's less than $20 a month and you get the whole year. So that's why we say the Silver Pass is hands down 10 times better than that California Neighbor Pass because it does get you all year. And with that, you're going to get 275 days versus only 150 with most of the weekends in there. So if you're considering the California versus the Silver, buy the Silver every single time. Do not buy the California Pass. Now, if you were listening earlier, I also said, though, the free parking and the food and merchandise discounts make the Gold Annual Pass worth it for the extra $90 over the Silver Pass. So I'm going to tell you again, the Gold Annual Pass is going to be the pass you're going to want to get anyways. It's less than double the cost of the California Neighbor Pass, but you get so much more out of it. 325 days a year instead of 150, and you do get the free parking and the discounts. So that's the one I'm going to go to every single time. So in the end, I view the California Neighbor Pass as the sucker pass. Now, the only time that the Silver may be beneficial to you and your family is, let's say you already know when you're going to go and then you check out the blackout dates and it works. If one person in your household buys the gold and those dates work for you and you're going to get the free parking and then they get the food discount so they can always be the one to pay for everything, then the other people in your party may want the Silver Annual Pass as long as the days work. So I do encourage you, you can game the system a little bit and see what days work best for you. And if they work on the silver annual pass, then by all means, get everyone that silver annual pass and then get one person the gold for the free parking and then the food and merchandise discounts as well, and then have them buy everything. So that's a little insider tip that we really enjoy. And we said something similar when we talked about Disney in Orlando and buying the photo pass. You don't need it for everyone in your party, just buy it once. Same kind of thing here. You can buy the gold pass once, get everyone else the silver, save yourself a little bit of money, and then you still get free parking with just the one vehicle. So with that, we wish you a magical week as you're planning your next vacation to Disney or the Universal parks. We do encourage you, listen to us next week as we talk about Universal Studios Orlando, and we talk about the multiple parks down there and the fact that the pricing's not that much different and how much money you're going to be able to save down there, because that's what we've done. And we absolutely love being annual pass holders down there. And the passes are pretty similar, but there are some differences worth calling out. So you're definitely going to want to check in to that episode next week. So we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.